everyone. Today we have a very special video. My good friend Eli has had this Fender jazz bass that I have in front of me. It's been collecting a bit of dust and mentioned that it needed a little bit of love. So I thought I would step in and offer to clean it up, restring it, get it set up and back up in tip-top shape. So that will be our project today.
We are going to get started here by removing the strings. Now, something I like to do before I restring a guitar or bass, doesn't matter, I like to get a check just to see where the current action is sitting at, what the neck relief is at, intonation. I mean, ultimately, these are things that are going to be changed. Now, two things that I noticed right off the bat are the neck is pretty bowed, so we'll need to straighten that out. The other issue is the string height is way too high. It's incredibly uncomfortable to play. So those are two things that we will definitely be addressing. Here I'm just wiping off all of the excess dust and just preparing it for the next step, where I'm going to clean it with a clean microfiber cloth with the Guitar One guitar polish from Music Nomad. So while I'm cleaning, I noticed that there's a lot of dust underneath the saddles, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the saddles from the bridge, and we're going to go ahead and clean that up. So here I'm just struggling to get that third screw out. Clearly here I've never used a screwdriver. That's okay. Now that I've removed the saddles from the bridge, I'm going to go ahead and spray some more polish and just get the rest of the bass cleaned up. Next, now that the body is cleaned up, we're going to go ahead and work on the fingerboard. So the rosewood was really dry, so I'm using the F1 oil by Music Nomad to just kind of rehydrate and clean up the gunk off of the fretboard. So I'm just using a clean microfiber here to just really work the oil in, and I'll let that sit for about 5 minutes just to let it soak in. And then I will come back over with another towel and just clean that off. While I'm waiting for the oil to soak in, I'm just going to go ahead and reattach the saddles to the bridge. Now here, I'm not really paying attention to putting it back exactly where it was. Because the intonation was already so out of whack, we're going to need to reset that anyway. So I'm just kind of putting them into position. And then once we get the strings on there and get some tension, we'll go ahead and reset the intonation and put the saddles exactly where they need to be. Once the saddles are back in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the strings on. And I'm going to go ahead and feed them through. Now with these Fender style tuners, the string feeds through the top. So I'm going to have to cut a bit of the excess string off. So the way that I measure it is I measure from the tuning post about 3 finger widths, and then I snip that with the wire cutters, and then I will feed that in through the top. One more thing that we're going to do to help improve the tuning stability is we're going to add some of this Dunlop Super Lube. This is going to help reduce friction and overall improve the tuning stability. We're going to add this to both the saddles as well as the nut. Now, I didn't show it here, but I did adjust the neck. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the issues was that the neck had a lot of relief, so I went ahead and straightened that out. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the string height, and then we will set the intonation. So right here, I am just setting the string height. I'm just going back and forth, just checking the tuning. I'm going to check the height a few times just to make sure it's exactly where I want it to be. For me personally, I like to set my bass height to be about 2.4 millimeters. That's going to be about the lowest that I will go typically. Once the action and relief are where I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and stretch the strings and work on getting it up to pitch. This process takes a little bit as the strings need to settle in. So I will just keep stretching and keep tuning until the pitch doesn't drift. And then once I have it at a stable tuning, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off all the fingerprints, just get it cleaned back up.
Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. We'll see you in the next video.